All right, guy. This is for both of you. You really hadn't shot the ball well in either your first two games until tonight. And even the first half, you were cold. What turned the switch for you, and what's to say that you can win games when you don't shoot well?
We hang our hat defensively every night, and we hang our hat on the things we can control. And the ball going in is not one of them. Like you shoot every shot to make it. You shoot shots that you work on, and you expect them to go in, but sometimes they just don't go in. It's the game, but the things you can't control, a lot of the time is your defensive effort, your hustle, your communication, and those things we like to control every game. And because of that mentality, we've been able to obviously start the season 3-0 and give ourselves a chance in these games.
Chet, you guys had 12 blocks tonight. Of course, you're used to doing that. What's that do for your defense when you guys are controlling the paint like that and blocking shots?
Yeah, I played a few games here now, and it looks like all these dudes are taking after me and learning how to block some shots, and it's amazing going out there and, knowing that we're all bought in on the defensive end. And, there's a lot of things that don't show up in statistics, but that's one of them that does. And, it's great to have guys out there that can play defense.
Shai, the waves of on-ball defenders that you guys can throw at players like Trae Young, and then to have that sequence with Cason out top, what does that feel like on the floor in that fourth quarter moment to see a second-year guy like that rip an all-star?
Yeah, we have a team full of really good perimeter defenders, guys that put their hard hat on every night, compete, and that's all that was. Cason, obviously, especially defensively, we saw that from the beginning in his rookie year. He just had another Cason Wallace type night, and it doesn't matter who we play. Guys like Cason, they bring it every night and do their job, and that's what makes them who they are.
Chet, obviously that fourth quarter stretch, you guys won that and turned the tide, but end of the second quarter, you guys really dominated that stretch heading into halftime. How big can those types of kind of 5-6 minute moments be in the landscape of a 48-minute game?
I mean, every single minute has to mean just as much as any other minute in the game to us. We have to have the same effort and attention to detail in the first and the 7th minute and the 15th minute as we do in the last minute of the game. And, things aren't going to go our way in every single minute, but, we got to turn as many in our favor as we can. And that stretch at the end of the second quarter was just a testament to that.
Yeah, Shai, it was third different starting lineup in 3 games, and I want to ask you about that because related to it in pregame intros, seemed like when you heard 6'6" guard, you went out and it was Wiggins being announced. What was that like?
I heard 6'6" guard, and usually that's me.
6'6".
I know I'm like 6'7". Well, it's usually me, and once I heard Maryland, I was like, yep, not me. Circle back and let Wiggs go. But, yeah.
Is it fun though that you guys can, mix and match for starting lineup like that?
Yeah, I think it makes us different. Coach makes it very clear what each of our roles are on this team, and we, no matter the lineup, we are still supposed to do our role, and I think that's what allows us to have different lineups. And then the way we're constructed, we have so many guys that are so versatile that we can have different lineups and not have a drop off, or still have the same rhythm out there as a group. So yeah, definitely a luxury of ours. And Coach has kind of built that muscle over the years. He's always been fluid with lineups and done crazy stuff with lineups, so we're used to it.
Shai, Mark was just in here saying that obviously with this new volume of threes that you have, there's going to be some adjustment period, but that you're playing the long game. I just wonder, how have you prepared yourself for the ebbs and flows that come with, increasing that volume and trying it out in game?
It's annoying. You obviously want to make every shot, but it's part of the process. Success isn't linear. I'm sure you guys have heard that many times. So yeah, I know there's gonna be ups and downs. I also know how hard I work. And if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out trusting my work, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and we just went through a whole training camp, and he wasn't missing those shots. So I trust that they're gonna start going down.
And so Shai, with that, just the pull-up that you hit with I think 4 or so minutes left to go to put you up 16. Just what did that feel like considering all of that?
Yeah, it felt good. I had shot some early in the game that I thought we're gonna go in and didn't. But to make that one felt good for sure. I think it pushed the lead from 13 to 16 with like 4 minutes left. Kind of sealed it for us. But yeah, I feel like in the past I would have deterred from the shot because of the result. But trying to look past that and play through it and work through it has been something I try to grow through.
Shai, in the past like 2 to 3 years, you were playing with a lot of bigs who weren't the traditional rim protector. And I remember in training camp last year, you all said that you had to adapt to Chet. What's that process been sort of like, and how's that impacted how you defend?
It allows me to be lazy, gamble a little bit. Nah, I'm playing. It's obviously a safety net. He makes everything easier. Obviously, you guys can see it out there. It allows you to pressure the ball, gamble, like for real. It actually allows you to gamble a lot more, knowing that if your guy, a lot of times I'm guarding smaller guys, goes in there, he's still not going to get a good look if I get beat. But yeah, the moment Chet stepped on this team, we went from here to here, and there's a reason for it. It's clear as day. Everyone sees it on the floor, and it's special. It's a luxury to have.
And just like with the Athletic, Chet, you've made some clear strides in the offseason, but is there anything like specifically that feels different on the court through these first few games?
I'd say most of it is just how much, my teammates and my coaches are trusting me out there. And I don't take that lightly. I know I got to go out there and execute because, they're putting that trust in me to go out and execute. So, I'd say that's just the biggest thing. Obviously, I worked really hard in the offseason, but none of that means anything if they're not out there trusting me. So, huge shout out to them for putting me in a good position to go out there and make plays, and it's on me to make plays.
We got Jay in the back. Go ahead, Jay.
Shai, I know we're only 3 games into this season, and so the sample size is small, but the national conversation about you guys continues to percolate, just how good you guys are, how good you're going to be. What do you do with that? Anything?
When we sucked, there was talk about us sucking, and we didn't care. And we got here because we didn't care, so we're going to continue to not care and just focus on us getting better every day. And as long as we do that, eventually we'll get to where we want to go. And we made strides because we've done that. So just sticking to the program is what we focus on.
Yeah.
This will be the last one. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, Shai, early in the game, you guys were shooting a lot of threes. They weren't necessarily going in. Then you start doing mid-range, you start attacking. Is it important for you to do that? Like, is that something that you do intentionally to settle the team down, or is that just the flow of the game?
Yeah, I think we were getting good looks, so I didn't mind the shots we were taking. Nobody did. Nobody minded them. And then I don't ever. The game tells you how to play, so you just take what the defense gives you, and I think that's always my mindset. Be aggressive, and then whatever the defense tells you to do, you make the right play. And a lot of times in the beginning of the game, we got good looks, moved the ball, they just didn't go in. We stuck with it, and we were able to build the big lead because of it. So no, I don't think it was conscious. I think it's just myself and the rest of the team letting the game tell us what to do.
Thanks, guys.
Nick Gallo, OKC Thunder. Well, Alex, let's start with you. First NBA points and just getting to feel that love from your teammates. What was that like?
It was awesome. Very appreciative and grateful to be here, and thankful these guys for welcoming me and making me feel comfortable. I'm excited to see where it's going.
And Dub, it seemed like some really critical stretches to this game. Mark highlighted the end of the second quarter to just kind of rev up the engines. You capped that with that bucket at the buzzer. Tell me about how a stretch like that can impact the rest of the game.
We're not shooting well. It's just one of those things that you kind of hang our hat on, keep playing hard. Different ways to be good. But we kind of buckled down defensively too right after that. So we got to just try and find different ways to win that. We haven't shot well at all.
What did you see during that stretch to maybe turn the game around?
I think just having more energy than what we had in the first. I think just and being all together, being a team, and I think just making plays. I think on both ends we did. In the last quarter, we had really good plays, a lot of hustle, and then a lot of making the shots, making the right plays. So it was great last quarter.
And with how fluid Mark can be with some of these lineups, I think people really didn't know what to expect coming into the season in terms of the rotation. But you've played legit minutes in all 3 of these games. Just as a second-round guy, just what kind of confidence are they instilling in you to just come in these games and play real minutes?
I think for me it's just staying ready. You never know when your name is going to get called, so just being ready for that and being confident. I think everyone in this organization is giving me confidence and letting me know that I can play. So just being confident and staying ready.
Jalen, you said you guys haven't shot it great these first 3 games, but to have won the way you've won pretty convincingly all 3, what do you ascribe that to? What do you like about the way you guys are playing, even though you're not shooting great right now?
Definitely defense and competing. I think even though we're getting good shots, working for good shots in possession, we're just finding different ways to be effective offensively. Cutting, pace, just kind of stuff like that. Just kind of keeping our values the same. I think defensively we've been really good. Obviously there's a lot of stuff that we still want to accomplish. Just defensively competing, I think we've been doing really well.
Ajay, your teammates have complimented you a lot about your advanced reads, especially for a rookie. Kind of what's been your preparation to get to this point?
Just staying ready, honestly, just being ready for the moment, being ready to be on the court and just competing. I think that's the biggest thing. Just doing anything the team needs me to do to win. So just competing hard and staying ready.
Andrew Schleck from The Athletic. J-Dub, not that this is anything that's totally abnormal, but you guys have played a lot of 5-guard lineups. What's that like, being out there on the court with 5 guards?
That's not really. So they can hear you. Oh, they can hear me. Y'all couldn't hear me the whole time? I'm just talking?
We can hear you.
Oh, dang, TV, my fault. I think I don't even remember the question. What was it? We were playing the 5 guards. Yeah, I think we kind of hang our hat on not having a position. So yeah, like you said, it's just 5 guards, just being scrappy. It allows us to switch and kind of still play fast. And I think guys are starting to understand that, you know, if coach puts you in at the 5 or the 4, it's kind of just you're in the game. It's not really a position. And I think guys are taking that with a grain of salt and just kind of playing hard. And you know, you end up everywhere on the court anyway. So that's just kind of how we play.
Do you actually get an assignment going out there? Like, hey, you're the 5, you're the 4? Or are you just going out there? What's that like?
Do we get an assignment?
No, it's not like an assignment. It's more of like what you're looking to do out there.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it's just more like situational, kind of going on what.
You're either more of a handler or like a movement action.
Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. I'm not gonna bore you, but we're just out there. I'm not gonna lie, we're just out there. What did you play in college? Like what position?
4 or 5.
Okay, well it's probably not that much different for him. I don't know. I mean, AJ's probably been at the 3 or the 1. Like we're just kind of we're just guards out there. Like it's not really a position thing.
Yeah. Anybody else? We go Joel.
But around this time last year, Cason was kind of having to guard Trae Young, and Mark was just in here mentioning, I think in January it was a back-to-back where Trae might have got his number. Just from then to now, just what have you seen from Cason in terms of the way he treats these matchups and the way he handles them?
Just smarter. I think he was big for us in the playoffs and just all throughout the year last year. So he just has that experience. That's one thing that I think will progress anybody further along. Just when you're out there getting the reps and getting those assignments. I think one of the big things for me, my rookie year going into my sophomore year, was just being way more comfortable when you've guarded players like Trae Young and then you go guard Steph Curry the night after, and it kind of just progresses you as a player. And I think he's doing a good job of handling that and taking pride in defense. I think with our lineups, it allows him to excel too, and that's just who he is too. He just competes, and that also goes a credit to who they draft and who we get. So shout out Queso.
Anybody else for this group?
I have one. You guys want to describe your first NBA points? Because I don't think we talked about yours or yours. So whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. I actually thought I missed my layup, my first shot, but so I went in. So was really excited. I think for me it's a great moment, but it's just the beginning. So just got to keep working and see where it goes.
Yeah, it was kind of a dream come true. Obviously, never thought I would be here. But shout out to Duke for the pass. That was a pass. Long term pass.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Throwing waves at defenders at him all night. What are those moments like for you to be able to come away with steals like that out top?
It's a lot of fun. Being a competitor at the highest level, taking forward on, especially in an ISO situation. Just being fundamentally sound, sticking with it.
Yeah, and just how does it feel maybe like a year later from some of those times last year where you had opportunities against that caliber of player, and to see maybe some like strides even mentally, physically that you've taken since then in those matchups?
Big jump. You know, a lot more confidence, more familiar with their play style. So I could see what's coming now instead of last year, not really knowing, being a little more hesitant. So.
You made a three late in the fourth. You know, it looked like there was a pretty big celebration with your brother on the floor. Can you just take us through that?
Yeah, that was my first three I made this season. I've been in a slump, so once I seen one go in, it's up now. So I got that bad taste out of my mouth finally.
And then you talked about just kind of defending in isolation. Can you take us through like sort of what it's like to be on just sort of an island with some of the best players in the league?
It's a tough task, you know. It's you and him, and he's trying to show the whole world that he's one of the guys that belong in the conversation. So my job is to make sure he's not in the conversation, which is hard to do, but I take pride in it. So.
Cason, how has your kind of preparation overall as a defender evolved from college to your rookie year to now today?
College, you see a lot of people are fairly the same or similar in a lot of ways. In the NBA, certain players like to do certain things. Everybody has their thing that they do very well and what got them here. So I feel like I could key in on certain things better.
In a preseason game not too long ago together, but tonight going from playing one-on-ones back home to backyard to now regular season NBA game, just how special is that?
Very special for our whole family. Especially we had a good support system today with us, so we like to share this moment with our family as well. So just seeing the smiles on their faces and how much joy it brings to them, and you know, everybody that supports us.
With him being your older brother, just can you kind of tell me about what you kind of learned from him growing up to kind of shape you into the player that you are today?
Probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, honestly. He's the one that put the hard work mentality. He instilled that into me at a young age when I didn't want to go to the gym, or if I wanted to get lazy with schoolwork or something, he was the one that pushed me to go that extra mile and to be the best human being and the best basketball player I can be.
When you're on these one-on-one assignments, is it more you're trying to just react to what they're doing, or are you trying to more, I guess, dictate how they're playing?
A little bit of both. You know, everybody think you have to guard what they do, but you could make them do certain things. So trying to play a game in their head too.
Would you feel the frustration kind of mounting with Trey during those one-on-one situations?
You know, he's one of the great guards in the league. So of course he's trying to get at me. I just stopped him from doing what he wanted to do. So any competitor, anybody in the league would try to go right back at him, which I expected him to do. Anybody else? Thanks, Cason. Thank you.
Mark, the heart that your team showed, particularly, you know, as the game went along into the fourth quarter, what did you make of just the way that they rallied together?
Yeah, I thought there were a couple critical stretches in that game. I thought the first one was end of the second, we went down 8 or 10, and it felt wobbly at that point, and that group at the end of the quarter really stabilized us and got us back in the game and made it a kind of basically a 0-0 game at halftime. And then the start of the fourth, I just thought the intensity was really, really good defensively. I thought Cason was unbelievable tonight on Young in the fourth quarter. But all the way around, I thought our compete level didn't match theirs in the first half. Not that we weren't trying, but they brought it and really played well. And I thought our compete level in the second half was great.
The Cason minutes on Young and just the sheer the live ball turnovers, and tell me about the momentum changing nature of some of those kind of mano-a-mano plays out there.
Yeah, those are huge on a player like Young, who we have ultimate respect for on the offensive end. And yeah, I do think it's good, developmental data point, because there was a game at Atlanta last year on a back-to-back in January where we got beat late, but we really didn't play great, and he was on Young in that game, and Young got him. And this is a year later, or less than a year later, more physical strength, more wisdom, more experience, and he's able to not only hold his own but really be disruptive on a great player. So I thought he played a great game.
There has to be some patience from him as he tries to find his rhythm. Just what are you seeing from his as far as patience as games go on?
Well, I think he's got to shoot those shots. Dub has to shoot those shots. That's playing the long game. They have to blend them into the team, and that's going to be a little bit of a process. I thought our offense holistically tonight, our process on offense wasn't as good as it was the first couple games, and we had more shot making tonight. So the shot making variance can be noisy because that seems like the best offensive game, but I thought we got cleaner looks and more rhythm as a team in the first two games, and tonight, we really good players made some plays and made some shots, but we have a lot we can improve on to be able to be the best team we can be.
And early in that fourth, if I'm not mistaken, you threw out like a real all-guard lineup. What did you see from that lineup, and what did Shai mean to that lineup specifically?
Yeah, I think, having guys out there with some size, positional size, even though you don't have a 5 on the floor, and then it's just the compete level. If you're small like that and you compete with some wing size, Caruso, Shai, Dub, Cason, Lou, those kinds of guys. Wiggins can do that. You can hang, but if you don't compete, it's really, really hard, and you give up the size. So I thought we really competed in those stretches, and those are valuable minutes for us tonight, obviously.
Other than the final score, 13 steals, 12 blocks, only 10 turnovers, that the biggest stats that kind of jump out at you, that compete level a little bit?
Yeah, I think if you diagnose why we won the game, that you're right on it. We're trying to diagnose how to improve, and we're focused on how we need to do that. And I thought, our edge in the first half probably wasn't what it could have been, and we got that on the road in the second half. And then, like I said, offensively, our process, we've got to be able to create rhythm against disruption. Credit them, especially Daniels. Really high intensity, and they were physical with us, and they took us out of stuff. And I thought our collective resilience in the game was above average, but not as good as it can be. So we definitely have things we can improve on, but those things are why we won the game.
I had a chance to talk, but you've gone with different guards every night for different lineups. Aaron tonight, how'd you see what he did, and just your overall philosophy going with these different guys?
Yeah, I mean, he was great. He started before and had a lot of success as a starter. He's gotten off to a great start this season. So we have a deep team. We have a team that we like a lot of different guys, and a lot of guys are new. We have new players, and we also have evolved players, and we want to check in on them. We want to figure out what we have, and the only way to do that is to be aggressive about exploring that. So we're going to be. And I understand, it'll at times be inconsistent, but our guys are mentally tough. They can handle it, and we're going to be aggressive about doing that.
Michael Martin, let's talk Thunder. Kind of backpacking off that question with Wiggs. I know last year I asked you what was his best skill, and you said everything. Can you just speak to his versatility and the value that brings, where he can just play in a variety of lineups?
Well, I think what initially got him on the floor a couple years ago and last year is just his system skills. He's really mastered the system on both ends of the floor and is so reliable. You just know exactly what you're getting. He glues everything together out there. He's gotten better. He's a great developmental story because he was inefficient right off the bat. Then he got himself very stable and efficient. Then he got himself really good in the system, and now he's got he's got some stuff, and there were times we put the ball in his hands tonight, and I think it was the third quarter, early in the third, and he made great plays. He finished a play and found a three in the corner, so he continues to get better. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, Coach, there seemed to be a little bit of a hangover second night of a back-to-back, but in the fourth quarter, there was a switch that turned on. What was that switch? Who was that switch?
I think, we definitely weren't we weren't the more competitive team to start the game. I didn't think we were totally flat, but they were just beating us to balls. They were just a little sharper, more physical, more amped up. And I think as the game wore on, we recognized that in the moment, and we altered it. And those are important skills in the NBA. You're not going to sustain, the optimal level of anything in an 82-game season, 48-minute game, but you can recognize when you're off track and get the car back on the road. And competitively tonight, I thought we did that.
Yeah, sorry. Mark, you've talked about kind of the shot variance a little bit, and how even when you're playing your best offense, it might not be reflected in the numbers on any given night. Can the defense be that constant where you guys are bringing that every night, and it sort of just raises the floor when the offense can kind of come and go?
I think the shot-making variance of an individual game can be very noisy on both ends of the floor, but the things that can be constant are your compete level and your together level, and we talk all the time about competing together as a team and that being who we are, and that you can bring every night, regardless of what's going on in the game, regardless of whether or not shots are falling. And so far in 3 games, I think we've done a really good job of that, but that's what we got to, that's got to be our North Star, at all times. And I thought the team did a good job recognizing in the game that we needed to adjust that, and we did. And that's why we came out, because that team was ready to beat us tonight.
Yeah, and just like with the Athletic, Chet has clearly shown a lot of improvement in a lot of areas so far this season. Just like what did you see from him in the offseason and in training camp that made you think like maybe he was ready to take another step?
The same things that I saw when he was rehabbing and last season, which is just an insatiable drive and ambition. But it's one thing to be ambitious and to have a high vision for yourself, but it's another thing to have the horsepower behind that in work ethic and consistency of that work ethic. And I think we have a lot of players like that, but he is relentless. And so he's done an unbelievable job of forging himself into the version that he is right now. And the good news is, as we've seen with other players, improvement is a skill, and so some people don't improve like that because they don't have the vision or they don't have the work. He's only going to get better, as he gets more experience, as he gets older, stronger. So that's exciting, but he's done an incredible job with himself.
Anybody else?
Yep, thanks.